Here's what I hate about business school. I'm a business professor and I am kind of annoyed with it, to be honest, at this moment. And the thing that I hate about business school is that it teaches you that there is one right way of doing things. And there's this focus, dramatic focus on being successful, whatever that means in your area. Maybe if you're looking at it from an accounting point of view, that you are complete compliance. If you're looking at it from a finance point of view, you're getting the highest return for your money. If you're looking at it from a strategy and innovation or entrepreneurship point of view, is that you've created this wonderful business that is at the top of your field. And the reason why I hate it is that there's actually a lot of objectives in life in a lot of different ways to view the world. So if you were to view life in terms of becoming successful in performance and being the top in your particular field, what does that do when you're not? And by definition, most of us are never going to become successful. Most of us, if you have a field of 1,000 people, there's only going to be one person that is going to be considered successful. That is at the very top. It's a rank ordering of all of the individuals. And that one person is going to become successful and everybody else isn't. So what does that do? That teaches you that you are not good enough. That teaches you to stop. That teaches you to say, why bother? That teaches you to never even begin because you're never going to become successful in the first place. I would rather have you think of this instead. How can you just barely get by? How can you barely survive? What does it actually mean to just enjoy the things that we have around us for the sake of the fact that they are just enjoyable? If you do that, you're much more likely to start. You're much more likely to get going. You're much more likely to do the exercise, the thing that you intend on doing on a regular basis. And what is the single most biggest predictor of becoming successful, of becoming the top, of whatever that you're looking at that you might think about? It's repetition. It's doing the same thing every single day. And if you focus on success, and if you focus on what does it mean to become successful, and the only people that matter and the only firms that matter are the ones that appear in the Financial Times, and everybody else doesn't matter, then everybody feels like they can't do it. Everybody feels that they'll never be able to get back. Everybody feels that they're just not in the game. So why should they bother? So another thing that is very troubling with this sort of point of view is that the tools that we have to measure success, to understand what that actually means, are incredibly imperfect. The one tool that we all use, and I'm not going to get into too much technical details, but it's regression. And regression assumes that there's one true outcome in life. It's hard to measure the complexity that we have in life where there's many things going on and there's many objectives that are often incompatible, and they often don't make a lot of sense when we look at that. So by definition, the way that we measure things, the way that we actually study it is a very imperfect and unfair way of viewing the world around us, whether that you are a manager, whether that you are a person, an entrepreneur, somebody that's in high school that wants to do better. We can't measure these things very well. It's unfortunate, but we can't. We don't have the tools. We don't know what that actually means. So I'm not saying to give up and to throw up your hands and, don't do anything in business school. I'm saying treat life as a process of enjoyment. And when there's times where you think it feels not that great, or where you feel like you are not being successful, take a step back and say, what does this mean? What does success mean to you? And if you take it the view that you can get back up and you can repeat, if you take the view that you can laugh at your mistakes, you can laugh at all the things that go on in your life, if you take the view that there's many ways, and I know that this is a bad saying, there's many ways to skin a cat. That's what my parents used to say many years ago. I know nobody wants to say that today. But there's many ways to do things. And everybody's life is unique and interesting and wonderful. Then you might not want to take the view that there's only one way of success. And instead, you might focus on, what does it mean for me to survive, to get by, to do what is necessary so that I feel good and other people feel good. Use those feelings that we have, those sort of spidey sense feelings, when you start going, blah, I don't feel good in this scenario. Use that as an indicator of what the hell is going on in your life. If we view life as only those that are successful are the ones that matter, and we tie that strongly to the individuals that matter, then much of us are discounted, including me. So I'd encourage you, instead of viewing success and being taught about success, push back. Go into all of those moments where you feel like a failure. If you're doing something that's important in your life, inevitably, almost always, every day, you're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel, what am I doing here? You're going to feel out of place. You're going to feel all of those things that are negative and not very good emotions. But that often means that is a good thing in that scenario. It means you're probably actually doing the right thing for you. Ultimately, the only thing that we can do is live a long and healthy life in as best as way as we can possibly know what that is. And frankly, people in business schools, they don't know either. We have incredibly poor track records of understanding what is the best way of doing things. We just can't measure the complexity of life. There's too much going on. And I'd encourage you to just feel good. What does that mean? So that you can get up and you can do goofy and silly things and feel good every single day. It's a better objective than being successful.